So you would think with a good defense, 27 points would be enough to win the game. Not so easy. Not against this Falcons team, who got shut out 30-0 the previous week to the Panthers. Welcome to the Joe Jordan Show. My name is Joe Jordan, and today we're going to talk about the Commanders' defense, man. The Commanders' defense have been a roller coaster, been up and down this whole season. It's like against the Giants, they look like a top 5 defense. Against the Green Bay Packers, they look like a bottom 5 defense. Against the Raiders, they look like a top 5 defense. And against the Falcons, they look like a bottom 5 defense. It's just a lot of inconsistencies, right? So if you're the Commanders and you go into the game versus the Falcons, you are down a lot of players on the offensive side of the ball. You know you're down Jaden Daniels. You're down Terry McLaurin. You're down Noah Brown, your third wide receiver. You're down Brandon Coleman, your starting guard on the line. You're down Eckler already. You're down Sam Cosmi already. You're down John Bates. John Bates is not a starter, but he's one of the Commanders' key blockers on the offensive side of the ball. So half the starters coming into the season is not even available for this game. So you knew for this game, the defense would have to carry the load. The offense, they were not the best. They were 1 for 8 on third down, but they did score 27 points. So you would think with a good defense, 27 points would be enough to win the game. Not so easy. Not against this Falcons team, who got shut out 30-0 the previous week to the Panthers. And you knew they were coming to this game ready. I heard Michael Penix in his interview before the game, and he said that we have to execute, and we will. We have to score more points, and we will. And that's exactly what happened. They executed at a high level. So in this defense against this Falcons team, right? The defense had to win this game, like I said. But the defense, 12 missed tackles, only 2 QB hits and 1 sack. That's terrible. That's terrible. A good defense will not come out with these statistics. 12 missed tackles, but you are in a double digit of missed tackles. That's never a good thing. And most of those tackles came from the front line, really. Payne missed tackles, Ken Law missed tackles. It was just Bijan Robinson. Basically, both of the running backs were killing them when it comes to missed tackles. The Falcons, 435 yards. Total yards. 6 from 12 on third down, which is 50%. 100% on fourth down. 21 first downs. Michael Penix, after having a terrible game, threw for 313 yards, 20 and 26. That's just not good if you're a defense. And the problem with the defense and Commanders right now, they are 28th in passing yards allowed. They are 25th in passing TDs allowed. And they're 7th in completion percentage. So you look at the completion percentage allowed, right? And you say, oh, the Commanders, they're a great defense. But the problem is it's the big plays. The big plays. The Commanders get killed by big plays. Against Green Bay, big plays. Against the Atlanta Falcons, big plays. Shoot, against the Raiders, there were a lot of big plays in that game. When the QB has a little extra time, the Commanders get killed by big plays. If the Commanders aren't getting aggressive, they're not getting top 5 pressure, they look pedestrian on the back end. So I know Marshall Lattimore is getting a lot of, getting killed by the media, getting killed by Commanders fans. And to be honest with you, rightfully so. But he's not the only problem. Let me go over these numbers. Now, obviously, as a DB, you can't just specifically go over numbers. You go over eye test. Eye test, Lattimore has been bad. He has. He's been getting attacked. He allowed a lot of completions. One thing I can count on with Marshall Lattimore, he's a short tackler. If he get beat, he's going to make the tackle. But let's look at Marshall Lattimore numbers. 12 targets, 7 completions, 58% completion percentage, 98 yards allowed. Now, that's from Pro Football Reference. Now, obviously, these numbers might be 100% accurate. It's based off the nearest DB. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but that's what those numbers says. But this is an alarming thing to me. Mikey from Michigan. Mikey from Everett. Sandusky, right? 14 targets, 11 completions. That's a 78.6 completion percentage against him and 164 yards. He leads the whole team in yards allowed. That's not good. Mikey was a second-round pick. We actually traded up We actually traded with the Eagles. We got Mikey, and they got Quinyon. And Quinyon is looking like a top 2, top 3, especially top 5 corner in the NFL right now. So Mikey has to step up. He has to. You look at Mikey numbers compared to Adoree Jackson, who everybody was killing. 18 targets for Adoree Jackson, 12 completions. 67% completion percentage, 155 yards. So Mikey had Adoree Jackson has more targets thrown at him. Mikey only has 1 completion less, but Mikey completion percentage is higher, which is terrible. And Mikey allowed more yards also. So we need Mikey to step up if you're a Commanders fan. So a lot of pressure is on Joe Witt Jr. A lot of pressure is on him. There will be a lot of questions thrown at him this Thursday when he goes to that podium and talk about this past game against the Falcons and the next game against the Chargers. And a lot of fans are calling for Dan Quinn to call the defense. He is a defensive-minded coach, So, I mean, a lot of fires on Joe Witt. I know Joe Witt, a lot of times, he just talks about how people are missing their assignments. That's what he says a lot. But then he will say, I had to get them in position. He will take responsibility. But a lot of his talk is, they got to do this, they got to do that. So, Joe Witt Jr. got to do something differently because this defense is very, very inconsistent. And it put a lot of pressure on a backup, a team who were already down 6 starters going into this game on the road. It put a lot of pressure on that offense to do something. And they showed up. They could have been better. They did have a turnover. They were only 1 for 8 from third down. But they scored 27 points. So what the defense going to do? Should the Commanders let Dan Quinn call the defense? Should they trust Joe Witt Jr. much longer? You let me know in the comment section. So that's all I have for y'all today, and I'll see y'all at the next episode. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.